Somehow, up to this point, most people still think branding is just a distinctive logo and consistent posting. But it is truly deeper than that, especially in this new taste economy. That confusion is why most wellness brands aren't converting or aren't getting enough awareness. Brand identity is what communicates who you are before anyone reads a caption. Take a look at Grunts, for example. They are the fastest growing supplement brands right now because they make wellness feels like a lifestyle and not a chore. The idea of creating convenience is the key to creating their brand world. Not only that, their color, their logo, the playfulness. A lot of it tells about your brand immediately the moment you see it. And on top of that, it is cohesive with the idea of rebellion. The boldness ties into the idea of creating gummies for easier consumption, rebelling against what wellness was supposed to be, clinical. That is all the visual component of a brand identity. The marketing aspect then is where the brand identity gets pushed into the world. This is where Graza made pop-ups. They launched a new product completely different to what they're used to be known as, but it still works. That is all the core execution of a brand awareness. It's how they make sure that people see the brand everywhere, not just on their own page or tied to a singular product. Then there are PRs and collabs, and this is where things get interesting, where your brand gets attention outside of its own platform. This is where Olipop's collabs with SpongeBob and Barbie. They're not paying to reach their own existing audience, but they're also reaching to SpongeBob and Barbie's audience, which is a way bigger pool of audience they couldn't attract if they didn't do this collab. This is also a credibility association. It is the best type of marketing because the consumers does it for you. They're the one who's doing the talking, not you. And we all know that people are easier to convince when someone who they trust is talking about it. Now, we don't want to forget about communication because it's the tone through all of it that ties your brand together to create this cohesive feeling. Your emails, your website, how you show up on a camera as a brand creating that world. I recently discovered this brand called Punchy Drinks. I think they did an amazing job at creating this cowboy themed campaign. Their products, their brand are still the same, but they've implemented a completely unexpected angle. Pink and wild in your face. But it's consistent. Every touch point, whether that be digitally or physically, they all have one voice. And that's the communication doing the job. And finally, of course, we won't forget about sales. Sales in this case are not a separate strategy. It is what happens when all of the four components work together. When the story is clear, the marketing is consistent, the extensions of the collabs are building trust, and most importantly, the communication is aligned. The sale then becomes a natural step, not something that you would always have to force. So, if you have been posting consistently or running ads consistently, getting one press, but it's still not converting, or that you haven't gotten the recognition that you and your brand deserve, the answer is rarely more posting or more budget. It is almost always the brand identity problem. That's where most brands got stuck nowadays and exactly where to look first.